Hello there guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is PilotBoy94. It's good to be back. I haven't done a recording for a little while, just a lot going on at the moment, but anyway, I'm on an Omsi video today, and today is a new map. It's a new map for Hamburg, and it includes, as you can see, this bus which says hybrid on it. And rather interestingly, it's brilliant because it is the proper hybrid system that you find on buses, and I like this in Omsi Bus Simulator, because now it means there is going to be even more variety in buses, and I'm hoping that with like the new London map coming up soon, hopefully, because it's been delayed so many times now, they're going to also include hybrid onto the buses there, because the buses that operate in London that will also be part of the map will be or actually in real life are hybrid. So this is a new map which includes the new buses. The new buses are based on the Volvo 790 series. This is the non-articulated bus with 3 doors, and they also do an articulated version for this map with 4 doors, which you'll see on the other route. And there are also 2 routes included, the Route 6 and 111. So we're on Route 111 today. We're going to be heading towards Altona, which coincidentally has the main train station for all the long distance services in Hamburg. So this is a cool addition to the Hamburg system, and I really like this map, and I really like this route, the 111. So I'm going to show you the shorter of the 2, but also my favorite one of the 2 routes today on this video. So we're going to set up the bus. We have 4 minutes before our departure. As you can see, we'll be going to Altona, which is an area in Hamburg. We'll just set that up to say yes, I'll accept the route. Okay, so we got 3 minutes, as you can see there. And the bus is pretty simple, just like most buses on Omsi. It's very well detailed, as per usual. The only thing I don't like is this cabin. It just seems a bit strange. I mean, the steering wheel seems a bit at the wrong height, in my opinion, to see the gauges. But that's my own opinion on that. But anyway, we better start us up. We'll turn the batteries on. And like I said, this is a hybrid bus, so you will hear the hybrid system kicking in. So I'll let the self-check do everything. Okay, we're good. And as you can see here, on the display in front of us, where it says N, which is for neutral, it also says HYB, which says it's in hybrid mode. So we're just going to turn the motor on. We need it on to start with, so that the hybrid system actually works properly. So essentially we're pretty much ready. Obviously we're in neutral, but we will, and there you go, that's the hybrid system actually kicked in already. So we're going to go into drive. This is a problem I don't like about this bus. It does tend to pick up this error message saying I have low pressure. I'm just going to move forward to the bus stop. I've got my door open. It's one of the things I do kind of like about this bus. Our pressure is a bit low, so what we're going to do, I'm going to put us into neutral, and with the parking brake on, I'm just going to rev up the engine just to build up some air pressure. And you know, and we got like a minute to run before we have to depart. I'm just going to skip the time ahead just so we can get closer to our departure time. So I'm building the revs. Oh, we got a passenger, and there's that's another thing as well. There's a new sound set for this route, and it sounds really good. And we got this cool little display up here, which is quite handy, which is quite nice as well, with multiple pictures. Obviously, I reckon some modders might end up finding ways to put adverts on there and stuff like that. So I think it's got so much potential with some of these new. I don't know if I would call them updates, but with like the new bus and the new system. So we're now in hybrid mode. We got just a little bit of time before we set off, and now we are ready to go. Let's go. So in order for the battery to work, you need to push very lightly on the accelerator, because if you push too hard, the the engine will kick in on the start. So if you've been on a hybrid bus anywhere, I think mostly Europe has them, you know, so you at least on this system. I'm not too sure anywhere else in the world, because I haven't used buses in a lot of different parts of the world. I've only really used European buses. But like I say, I really do like this map. The map is mostly focused around the sort of harbour area of Hamburg. So it, you know, and it's an extension. I say it's an extension because they actually do include the maps from the original route as well. As you heard there, the hybrid system has kicked in again. So yeah, like I say, it includes the original route, so Route 109 and the night route 688 to Altona. But yeah, so this is awesome. This is really cool, and it's also bumped it up to post 2015. So it's ultra modern. So I'm going to let you guys hear the electric motor once the lights have changed. The lights are changing. Yeah, so as you can see there, the electric motors run until we hit about maybe 20 kilometers per hour, and then it kicks in. And I really do like it, honestly, because it kind of does remind me of like in London, you know, with the hybrid buses there. I mean, it's basically the same system. But yeah, so like I said, this bus is based on a Volvo 7900 series bus. And see there, I just accelerated really quickly and the engine kicked in straight away instead of just the electric motor. Ooh, coming in like really quickly. But yeah, so we're coming up to the cruise terminal now, which is pretty cool. Like I say, it's based around the sort of harbour area of Hamburg, so you can see the sort of area that we're dealing with.
Hello.
So you probably also noticed there that it's a new sound set, so that's pretty cool as well. Well, it's something that I really do like as well. It is a bit echoey though, in my opinion, but you know, each to their own, I suppose. So I like the tightness of this route. I really like the announcements as well. They're really good, you know. So like I say, this is all based around the harbour. I mean, you've seen the that big cruise ship in the background on the last bus stop. You'll see many boats and ships on this route. You'll also see like small little rivers, which is a common feature with Hamburg, if you know it. I mean, I don't really know Hamburg that well, but from research that I've done about the city, there's, you know, it's pretty much true to life. I mean, the guys at Omsi really do a good job in creating these routes, and the development teams that are involved in it do a really good job. I mean, I've been to Berlin, and I've been to parts of where the Berlin maps take you, and I have to say they are really good. But like I say, it's a pretty simple system. Do read the manual if you're going to buy this this route, because it's some of the systems on the bus is a bit weird. Like, you know, it's something to really get used to, because it is slightly different. But the main systems, like, you know, turning it on, it's pretty straightforward. You know, this system here with the ticketing and that is exactly the same as what you should be really used to, especially if you're familiar with the Hamburg map. I don't like the timetabling system, but because it's worked on a schedule sort of system, so you can see that it starts from the depot and it finishes at the depot at the end of the day, so it's the whole day's worth. I mean, we are what's the time now? It's 16:10, So we are on this service here, the fifth service that this bus has been on so far. There's a warning that keeps coming up, which is something I can't seem to get rid of. There's no button to get rid of it, and it's a low pressure warning that keeps coming up every now and then for some reason. It could be to do with the hybrid system. I am not too sure really, because it doesn't fully explain it in the manual, and that's another issue I have with this particular add-on. The manual isn't too clear about certain things, which I think it should be, because especially someone like me coming into it, I don't know anything about driving buses or anything like that, you know. Yes, it's a simulator. I want to be immersed into the experience, and I'm not too familiar with the routes either, so I would like to have seen more from that as well, from that perspective. But like I say, overall it is really good, and it's expanded on the Hamburg map, which I found, you know, to be a little bit limiting when you think about what the guys behind the Berlin maps have done. You know, they've managed to fit in so much more. I mean, especially the guys who did the Berlin X10 route. You know, they've fitted in so much, and it's, you know, so many routes, and it even covers like into a different company, not just the BVG company in Berlin. But yeah, so we're still in the sort of main harbour area, and you can sort of tell by the styling of the building, because it's quite similar to most places, you know, that have old school harbours and whatnot. But yeah, so here's an interesting feature which I do kind of like, because it's really clear. You can see that yellow light, that tells me that someone wants to get off, and it is extremely clear to see. You know, in some buses you kind of struggle to sort of see what's going on. In terms of the doors operate the same way as pretty much all the buses on the Hamburg routes, especially the modern buses. It's on an automatic system, so the only door you've got to operate is the front door here. The other two doors, the middle and the rear doors, will operate as and when people need to get off. So as we get going, one other thing I haven't shown you yet is the battery gauge here. It tells you how much battery you've got, and you've got to drive it smoothly in order for it to regenerate as well. I don't know how true that is, but it seems like an interesting feature, but also something that's quite tricky to deal with, because I did one run and the battery went completely flat, so the hybrid mode was completely turned off, which I do like actually. Once it goes completely flat, it gets turned off. Just coming up here as well, I don't know if we'll see it on this route, on this video, but there's cycle lanes next to the road, which is a pretty common feature in most European cities. But they've included cyclist AI, which is really cool. And this is why I say this map kind of is illustrating to us as the audience and as the supporters, and you know, that the Omsi bus simulator system has got so much to offer and is going to offer in the future, which is why I'm quite hopeful for the London map. I know it's the London map, for someone like me as a British person, it's a very it's a map that I really do want to get, but the problem is it's been delayed so many times, and I have mentioned it in a previous Omsi video about the delays. But if there's all of this technology coming in, well, I say technology, if all of this is coming into the coding within the Omsi world, maybe that's going to be also included into the London map, which will be amazing. So we're running a little bit early as per usual. I normally end up running early. I like this feature here with the elevated, I believe it's the U-Bahn on an elevated way here. I do like this area. This is a really, like I say, this is my favourite of the two routes included on this map when you purchase it. This is my favourite one of the two. I don't know why, it's just that it's shorter, but it also covers a nicer area in my opinion, because the other route, Route 6, it's mostly covering like sort of residential kind of areas. So, and this is more the harbour areas, and I prefer it. I don't know.
Nächste Haltestelle. Und S-Bahn Landungsbrücken. Übergang zur Linie 3. Übergang zu den S-Bahnlinien S1, S2 und S3.
Next stop, Landungsbrücken. Please exit here for Hamburg trips. Change here for rapid transit lines.
You see, I like that as well. There's certain stops. I know the Central Station or Hauptbahnhof. They also have announcements that are both in German and in English, which is very interesting. On this route, this is the stop. Like it said, if you understand German, that's you know, you get what he was saying or what the lady was saying, because it's a lady who does the German announcement, and the man with the English saying to change here for harbour services and other rapid transport, which I think is really cool. Although in German, I do know, because you know, knowing just a tiny little bit of German, that when they mention the rapid transit routes like the S-Bahn, U-Bahn, the announcer actually does say which U-Bahn and S-Bahn routes they are, which I think is a bit odd when you think that in English they don't. So we're running just over a minute early, so what I'll do when we stop, I'm going to skip the time forwards by a minute. So I'll skip the time a minute ahead because we are running a minute early, and I don't want you guys to wait around. I'd rather let you guys see the route, you know? So I hope you're enjoying the hybrid mode. It is, like I say, it's bringing in something quite interesting. The hybrid mode just kicked in there, which is pretty cool. I love it when it does that. I don't know why. I suppose it's because, like I say, you know, going to London, because I don't live in London, going to London and actually being on hybrid buses, it kind of feels like the real thing, you know, when that happens. So we haven't come across any cyclists yet, but hopefully, maybe in the next video we might come across some cyclists. But I love that feature. I'm gonna see if I can jump ahead here of this van because we got a merging lane. Yeah, I got him. There we go, perfect. I probably shouldn't have done that, to be honest, but hey. So I haven't seen a lot of AI buses at the moment, but we might see some of the articulated buses. Like I say, this route comes with two buses, this bus and the articulated bus. I mean, for the price as well, it's worth it. It's $14.99, you know, normal price. And I find also one of the most interesting things about the two routes is that both of the routes, they use parts of the other two routes from the Hamburg Day and Night add-on. So on this route, you'll be like, I mean, this bus terminates at Altona, so we do actually go use some of the route from the route 688 from the Hamburg Day and Night add-on as well. So, and then on the other route, the route 6, it uses parts of route 109, especially around the Hauptbahnhof area, central train station. It uses parts of those routes. So the integration of the old routes and the expansion on the Hamburg map has made the map feel really cool, like really good. And obviously, it's also updated the map in a sense that everything is up to date, or I believe post 2015, sort of 2016, you know, sort of era. So if you are a Hamburg local or someone who's visited Hamburg within the last, say, 2 years or so, you probably will be familiarized with what the map has to offer. So this part here we run with only on a short little bit on what is the 688 from the Hamburg Day and Night add-on. So we're a minute early again, so we're gonna skip ahead a minute. I don't know if you noticed there, but there was a child's voice as well, which I really do like, because the child voices didn't really sound much like children, and occasionally the voices would be mixed up with older people, which kind of really confused. Like, well, it doesn't confuse. It's a bit strange when, you know, you as the bus driver, you're sitting on the bus, you're letting people come on, and all of a sudden an older person with a child's voice comes on, or the other way around, a child with an adult's voice just jumps on the bus, you know, hello, you know.
Nächste Haltestelle. S-Bahn. Reeperbahn. Übergang zu den S-Bahn-Linien S1 und S3.
So we're going to switch lanes here, because we're going to go back into another part of the harbour here. And this part of the harbour as well is quite interesting, because there's a part where on a Sunday morning it's diverted because there's a fish market. So obviously we're running, well, I never told you this, but I am running this on a Monday to Friday scheduling, so weekday scheduling, and it runs its normal course. But there is a diversion in place on Sunday mornings. I might even do a little video on that as well. But we'll have to wait and see, really. So going back into the harbour area here.
Hello.
So that low pressure warning is coming up again every now and then, but like I said to you earlier, I can't seem to work out how to get rid of the warning, you know, to acknowledge that yes, I understand there's a low pressure warning, but I think that low pressure is to do with the fact that we're not using the diesel motor a lot, so there could be like a lack of air pressure in the actual, you know, air system. So that might be the reason why it keeps going off, because we're on the hybrid system, and we're quite, you know, we're heavily utilizing it. Actually, we're doing a good job doing that.
Nächste Haltestelle. Reeperbahn.
Oh, I broke a bit too rapidly there. But yeah, everything is good. The mirrors are quite easy to see, but I don't understand. You can see, I don't know if you can see it, but on the mirror I'm looking at now, the top mirror, I can't really understand what that mirror is for, because it doesn't really reflect much. But I'm happy with the mirrors on the side. They're in a good position, you know, from the main driving position especially. You find some of the buses that they have really awkward positioning. So this part is where the route splits during the Sunday morning period because of the fish market. I mean, it really does surprise me, because I've been to Germany, and I know that Germany and Austria, everything shuts down on a Sunday, but they run a market which, you know, I mean, that's sort of what used to happen in the UK as well before the law said that, oh, we can open shops on Sunday. But so this part is interesting. This is a nicer part, really, of the harbour area, you know, with the cobbled street, you know, and the what looks like all sorts of different kinds of food outlets, and there looks like some shops as well. So it's quite of a revitalised area. I'm sure if you've been to Hamburg and you know this area, or if you even live in Hamburg and you wanted to watch this and you know this sort of area, you probably look at this and think, oh, you know what, it does look pretty well. I mean, it does feel like a revitalised kind of area, but I'm not too sure, you know. Like I say, I've never been to Hamburg. Yeah, so we're going to head off now. We're nearly at the end of the route. We're not too far off now. But this part is quite interesting as well. I mean, that's one of the things with this route, the Route 111, is the two ends of the route, the beginning and the end, they're sort of in the main kind of harbour areas, and it just feels very industrial, you know, harbouring back to it, you know, the past. And it does kind of remind me a little bit of the, you know, like I say, because it looks like it's been revitalised as well. It kind of reminds me of the London Dockland area in East London. I love this, like these little cranes here, you know, showing you a bit of the past and modern buildings as well as old buildings, all combined into one to create this absolutely wonderful area. And it's good that they get, you know, this kind of bus service as well. I mean, there's 4 buses that run on the route at any one time, so it's a well utilised route from Altona. Oh. So let's get going again, utilising the hybrid system. I mean, the hybrid system, because I don't know if you know about electric motors, but electric motors give pretty much instant torque. So torque is how power is converted to create the movement. So the torque from electric motors is pretty much instant. So the pull from an electric motor is better than even a diesel engine. So despite like seeing news recently, especially here in the UK, that they want to ban the sale of diesel vehicles, it might not be a bad thing when you think about it, because electric does a good job pulling, you know. So in vehicles that use diesel, you're looking at buses, trucks. I mean, I think electric motors would be good for them, but the problem is it's utilising that power and also regenerating that power, because obviously batteries will go flat, you know. It's just, you know, part of a battery system. I like this area here. There's like another big like cruise ship and a terminal here. This kind of reminds me of this kind of area reminds me a little bit of Amsterdam, actually, you know, with the cruise ship there. It kind of reminds me of the bit near the cruise terminal, because I actually did go on a cruise once to one of the stops was Amsterdam. It was just a short little kind of English Channel North Sea sort of cruise from Southampton. But nonetheless, you know, it does kind of remind me of the cruise terminal. I mean, I believe that is the cruise terminal, the main one for Hamburg. Cruise ferry terminal. Yeah, cruise terminal, yeah. This is the main one here. Okay, we're ready to go. So, like I say, we're nearly at the end of the route, and it's a really, really nice route, this. It's a nice little city route. And I'm looking forward to what Omsi can offer in the future as well. And like I said about the London map, I'm really looking forward to the London map. It's been delayed once again, unfortunately, to December, so hopefully it doesn't get delayed again. One thing I've done with that is I haven't pre-ordered it, because there's an option to pre-order it on Amazon, but I haven't bothered. I'm going to wait for it to be properly released onto Steam, then buy it and download it. I believe it's going to cost about £30, because it is a big, massive map, and there's a lot of routes, and I believe they've been having lots of problems. I haven't really been checking their Facebook page to find out the latest updates on it, as much as I would love to know, because, you know, it's something that I really want to play around with. It's a UK map on Omsi. So I'm getting kind of bored of, you know, I wouldn't say bored, but it's the fact that the simulator's German and really all you get is German routes. It does kind of get to me a little bit, but at the same time, you know, that's just what the developers are doing. And the good thing is that they've branched out now getting other developers involved, so we're getting more and more routes. There's a lot more going on really in the Omsi world. You don't want this bus, do you? So I don't think they like that gear change at all, but I don't control the gear changes as we are on an automatic box. Yeah, so we're coming up to Rathaus Altona. Wow, so I hope you guys heard that, but if you speak German, I would like to know what that said, because it's quite a long one, that one. So, this is the penultimate stop here, the Rathaus Altona. Just wait for the traffic lights to change and the bus. I think there's lots of people raring to leave the bus as well. So, from the times that I've let you heard the electric motor, I'm sure you do like it. I like the little whine, like you do with a lot of electric motors. You get a little whine, and then the engine. There we go. It's a bit jerky on this for some reason, but I suppose it can be a little bit jerky. So, I think what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to get a good passenger position somewhere. We can hear it from... It's not a lot of position... Ah, this one will do. So we'll get the perspective from the passenger point of view. I love that. It does actually sound pretty good from the passenger point of view. I want to see how this looks, because I yet haven't seen the animation if it does something when you change, you know, when the bus stop changes. And obviously we're coming up to the end, so you'll get the announcement saying end of the line. I just noticed the lights weren't on in the bus. But no worries, it's daytime, so it's okay. These lights take a while, don't they? Come on, mate. Here we go. That's quite the announcement, actually. And the perspective of the where it says bus stop as well. You know, it's a big red marker there that says Wagon halt, so bus stop. So we're coming up to Altona's bus station now, and the end of the route. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and it's a nice little insight to route number 111 on the new Hamburg map, and also a look at a hybrid bus which is new to, well, a hybrid bus that actually works, that is new to the Omsi lineup, and an official add-on as well. So I'm just going to come up to the bus stop now, and we're going to offload passengers. And we're done. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope my insight to what I know about this kind of thing has incited you and given you some perspective. And I hope to see you guys on another video. I should be doing another video showing you the other bus, the articulated bus, and also the other route. That is the plan, and I'm going to try to make a video on my thoughts and feelings about the London route as we get closer and closer to the release date, hopefully, like I say. So good. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. A nice look at a hybrid bus and a new map. And I'll see you guys on the next